Okay. Hey, we're here. Jennifer Dennis, you're right on time.
It took me a while to find you. I thought you were going to be on the other yard, and
literally nobody's over there. Why would I be over there?
well, exactly, nobody is over there. It's true. There's a lot more people over here.
Yes.
I believe this is the first time we've
never done it outside.
We've never done the
very
podcast
nervous.
outside. In fact, I believe that a lot of our listeners are under the impression that we've actually never been outside.
That's probably fair. I'm a little nervous about wind and road noise, but compared to being in a room of 250 people, I think this is going to be
Last year, we were just yelling into the microphones.
Yes.
And I think that people, although they enjoy our yelling, it can get a little tiresome after a while.
Part of me is like, my wife had an appointment, and so I've got my children in the background. And I'm like,
I like that you brought your children.
That's how church work is.
To be part of the background noise.
They are there. We will hear them. Tell my wife get here to pick them up, which is hopefully soon. But yes, we're talking to people. We need you to be brave. We need you to be assertive.
Oh, I thought you were talking to the people. You're saying that to me.
No, I'm saying it to you. Yes,
I can be assertive.
I need you to be assertive and go find some people.
Probably need to get rid of this gum, but
I didn't even notice.
Let me go see if I can get some people. Let me go
and spit the gum out.
I'll spit the gum out.
Okay, goodbye.
Preferably not at the same time.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Almost Amazing podcast from the City Rise Network. Hosted by Jennifer Dennis and produced by me, Justin Kello. We're a podcast that was supposed to be focused on parenting, but we've kind of lost the plot along the way. Honestly, we don't know what this podcast is about, but we talk to incredible people who love Jesus, and our hope is to provide encouragement and fun whenever possible. If our lack of clear direction bothers you, we apologize, but no one is making you listen to this podcast, unless you're married to Jennifer. Andy, thanks for listening.
Well, it didn't take long to find our first victim. Of course, I forgot to take my gum out, but whatever.
And you didn't give me a chance to sit down, but that's okay.
Let me start
I'm
again.
ready now, Jennifer.
Let me see if I can say Mark's last name correctly. Mosick.
Lozick with an L.
Lozick. It is
Close enough. I answered to Mark.
Mark
that's easy.
Lozick.
That's easy.
I didn't think about the emergency vehicles.
It's all right.
It just adds to the show. We're here with Mark Lozick, the International Ministries Director for Stitch Ministries. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mark, welcome.
Thank you.
In your life, you were just in line about to get to eat dinner, and now you're live on a show, but that literally is missions, right?
That's what it's all about.
So
that is correct.
Tell us a little bit about what Stitch is doing these days. Let me begin by saying, big Stitch fans. We love Stitch Ministries, everything they do. So tell us a little bit about what you do and what you guys have going on.
Well, first of all, I grew up as a missionary kid in Venezuela, so missions is dear to my heart. Then my wife and I worked for 27 years in missions at Southern Baptist Missionaries. So when we came home to take care of aging parents 8 years ago, we had no idea what we were going to do. And this just kind of fell into my lap. God just had it prepared for us. So I now direct a team of, they're growing. Let's see, we have a team of 4 in Corpus Christi. And then we have a team of 7 who actually work with us in the Dominican Republic, and a team of 1 now in El Salvador as of last year. So we are a growing ministry. What do? We do the same thing Stitch does in Texas. Basically, we look for ministry opportunities to work with people who are looking for ministry with hurting kids and families. That's the main focus of everything we do at Stitch. Now, in the Dominican Republic, which has been our main mission field for a while, we work with about a dozen churches. We work with 4 orphanages, probably at least a dozen Christian schools also. And we'll take mission teams down. I think last year we had 23 teams down, if I remember correctly. And what do? They do all kinds of stuff. They do some light construction work. They do VBS with kids, both in orphanages and schools. They do things like pastor seminars for pastors who would like a little more training. We do ladies' meetings and Bible studies. We do all kinds of construction projects, from just little, working with like banking benches and chairs, stuff for schools, to full house remodels. A lot of the homes down there are just horrible. So we knock them down and start over. Sometimes we'll build a new house over the old house, then take the new house out through the door. So what are we involved in? Really, whatever the need is.
I think it's more like, what are you not involved in? That is an incredible list. And I can attest to every single one of those things. Our church partners with you guys every year. And the thing I love about your church, as we've talked about before, hold on, you guys be a little bit more quiet.
It's not.
We get to involve children. No, I'm just kidding. They're fine. We get to involve children on the trips. We get to take entire families on the trip. And that's such a ministry when we go to the DR. And we're talking about that tonight as one of our opportunities. And And you guys said that you have 8 full-time people in the DR working with that team.
We have 7 in the DR and 1 in El Salvador, which is a brand new ministry for us. The reason we opened up ministry in El Salvador, honestly, because we had no more room in the DR. Every single week from May through the first week in August is full, sometimes with 2 or 3 different church teams. There's just no more room. So God has opened up another field
Let
for
me
us.
ask you a side note. We've talked about this on the show before, but the spaghetti that the people make in their homes in the DR. Why are you like, you're
Jennifer
so...
has the spaghetti story from the DR.
I'm like obsessed with the
It
spaghetti.
changed her life.
It was so good. It's good. Have you figured out how to make that spaghetti?
I just eat it. I don't make it.
You just eat it. You don't make it.
Actually, it's something that we have given them a recipe for. Whenever we do that, we want people to have that experience of eating in a true Dominican home, which is so small and humble. But at the same time, we want to make sure the food is safe. So what we'll do is we will go to the homes ahead of time, and we will give them funds to buy what they need to buy and show them how to cook it so that it's safe for our American partners. And you're right, it is very good, but I do not know the secret recipe.
so this is like
That's
not
like hugely. That's a big reveal you just did.
it's a huge reveal right here on the podcast that it's not. I'm laughing because
Jennifer,
I thought the DR like one of their basic dishes was
like
spaghetti.
You fooled Jennifer. She
You know,
thought,
the food there that we eat, not just at the homes, but there, whenever a team comes down, actually, those recipes come from the mother of our vice president over international, who was my boss. She spent a few years there as a child, but her parents actually started Baptist work.
Is this
70
Joanna?
This is Joanna's mother, Doretta, who just
Okay.
turned 102
Oh my
this year,
goodness.
and
That
is still
spaghetti must
going.
be
that's why it's
magical.
good. That's why it's good.
It was her recipe.
Yeah.
So that's where it started.
Recipe. This is so eye-opening.
Y'all can make a cookbook and sell it as a fundraiser.
Actually, you can buy it for $10 a piece in the dining room.
Who knew? I was working my way into a big promo for the cookbook. For
I will
Stitch.
send you a cookbook if you give me an address.
Mark, thank you for gathering with us for this minute. We're so excited about what you guys do.
Yeah. And what's the best way to learn more for people that are listening?
Stitchministries.org, stchministries.org under the international tab. And we are excited to have the church come again. They've always been such a blessing to us. And I think they also receive a pretty good blessing as they go.
Beautiful.
Amen. Agreed. Thank you, Mark. Kirk, thank you for leaving the food line.
Yeah.
You
bet.
had about 3 seconds to decide whether you're going to come on the show. We're so glad you did.
Of course.
So you are an old friend of Cross Point, West 2 Baptist, City Rise.
Yeah,
Did you grow up in this church?
I did.
Let me introduce you
Yeah,
really
you're
quick.
just like
Kirk
picking up a
Craig,
conversation.
He's
Jennifer and
the
Kirk are hanging out.
co-founder and CEO of Agape Ministries.
Yeah.
And they do work right here in Houston.
Yep.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, and we'll talk more about your past.
Sure. Agape Development is a ministry in OST South Union. It's nestled between 3rd Ward and Sunnyside. And our mission is to transform our neighborhood by preparing Christ-following independent community leaders. And so all of us that live there, about 60% of the staff live in the neighborhood, are trying to live that out, both when we're on the job and also when we're off the job. So, yeah.
So what does that look like in the community? I know we've been able to visit your facilities. We've been able to see a lot of what you're doing. What does that look like?
Yeah, in an experiential way, families can come to the front door of Agape, and kids, kindergarten through 5th grade, can plug into our after-school program where there's a spiritual component, a physical and nutrition component, but also an academic part with reading levels. The teenagers can get involved in our youth ministry, which looks a lot like a church youth ministry, but also has a little bit with education and employment. And we even run a snow cone business in the summer. So that's a fun thing. If you're doing a block party, company party, we'd love to be your snow cone provider for that.
That is no joke. Like, we've had the snow
Yep.
cone people out here more than once.
It's
and
a
they're
lot of fun.
wonderful. And they do an incredible job.
They do.
And so you also grew up in West U. You were Harry and Sandra Craig's son.
Yes.
Which many of our viewers know.
Yeah.
Like total.
Yeah, they are
Rock.
pillars of the church. That's the way I would
Correct.
describe them.
So what was it like growing up here in the church? And then how did you get into the ministry?
Yeah, I tell people that my spiritual heritage comes so much from Westview Baptist Church and now all of the campuses. But it was really a family. I can remember the grandmothers that taught me in Sunday school week after week, and the things we would do, mission friends on weeknights and royal ambassadors as well. Just all these different things that built into my life. And it was really the people. No matter what program you have going on, no matter what the name of it ends up being, it's the people loving me and guiding me and teaching me what it is to follow Christ in all the ways in my life that transformed my life and kind of sent me on this trajectory. So I am so grateful for the heritage here. And I was thinking about, we were waiting in line to go up to dinner. And I cannot tell you how many times I ran down this little part right here to head to the gym, which was on the first floor at that time. And my grandmother sat there every Wednesday night, counting money, taking food. And so people were watching me. People had their eye on me from the time I got here to the time I left. But I knew I was loved. I knew I was cared for. And people encouraged me in my spiritual gifts.
And that's exactly what you are reproducing in a different community, is to let people know that they're loved. And so I guess my question is, as you talk to our listeners, what can they do to help partner in your ministry or to become part of what you're doing?
Yeah, there's so many ways to get involved at Agape. There's one-time events like neighborhood cleanups. There's also very intentional tutoring with our kids, getting their grade level reading up. I think what I'd want everybody to know is that God has us here on this earth, not just to wait things out with a fire insurance policy for the ever after. It is to engage us in the world that he loves and to see where our gifts, our talents, our experience can come to bear in unique and powerful ways, because that's what he has for all of us. He has a gift, he has a calling, he has something for all of us to live out every day of the year. And my hope would be that the things that you experience here at City Rise, at all the campuses, would be the occasion for you to engage in those gifts.
Fantastic. Man, Kirk, thank you so much for your time. We'll go ahead and let you head up. And
how do people
back.
learn more about your ministry, though?
Oh, there you go.
Go to our website, agapedevelopment.org. If you Google Agape Development Houston, it's going to pop up near the top of the list. But come visit our website for volunteering, for other ways to get engaged, and we'd love that.
Fantastic. Beautiful. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful dinner and many blessings on your ministry.
Thank you.
Okay, Justin, they're actually serving food now, which makes it like I literally drug her out. I think she had chicken in her hand.
It'll still be warm. It'll be good.
But we have grabbed Christy Sylvester. I'm so glad, Christy, to have you back.
Thank you.
The executive director of CASA, and also recently back from a trip with City Rise to Kenya.
Yes.
So tell us about Kenya a little bit, and then you've got a lot going on with CASA. Okay.
So Kenya was wonderful. We had a great time, but we had more rain than we were anticipating. So we had some challenges getting to the village. We went to a small village up in the mountains with no roads.
So I heard that you literally had to build a bridge to get out of there.
Yes, we did not build the bridge, but somebody did have to build a bridge. Yeah, so the bridge washed out. After we got up on the mountain, the bridge washed out. And then they rebuilt the bridge the day before we were leaving. And then we had another massive rainstorm that night. So the day we were leaving, they had to go and shore it all up, and we carried the luggage across on foot, so the vehicle wouldn't be too heavy.
Did you feel pretty confident, or were you just like, ha, 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 ha?
Well, in the middle of the night, I was not super confident. I was laying there thinking, how many days are we going to be on this mountain?
Yeah.
And we're sleeping in a metal building, and it's thunder and lightning on top of a mountain. So... Yeah, but it was great. I mean, it was really, really good. And we had a lot of new timers, first timers, and they had a great time. And so we did all the ministry work that we wanted to do.
You're pretending to be very patient and like, this is fine, this is cool, don't worry, guys. And inside you're
I was like, oh. No, it was good.
I'm so glad you guys did a really unique, I think tell me about the craft that you guys came up with to bring for the ladies.
Well, I don't know if I would call it a craft.
I know it's not a craft.
Tell me your little craft you did.
Yeah, I would not call it a craft.
That's embarrassing.
A necessity.
A necessity. Tell me about the.
Yes. So we had a lot of women in the States sewing reusable sanitary napkins. And we took those to the women in Kenya because what happens is these girls are in school and they don't have products that they need. And so they stay home at that time of the month, and then they miss exams and other things and eventually end up dropping out of school altogether. And so this is a way to help them stay in school and give them the things that they need. So that was really great. And we handed them out at a girls' high school. And then we also handed out at the clinic to the women who came for medical services. And they were so excited.
Were they so excited? I was with Jean, your mom, Jean
Yes.
Pennington, as she was trying to figure this out. And I was so impressed. She did so much research. She got a team together. And how did you say how many of you guys took over?
We took almost 800.
Wow.
Mhm.
What
It was a
incredible
lot.
ministry to those girls who do
Mhm.
have to miss everything, who can't leave home.
Yep.
What a blessing. So now you guys are pivoting to a very important time of your year for Casa.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on for the Casa Gala.
So Casa El Buen Samaritano is our free medical and dental clinic. And we have our annual fundraising event, which is the fundraising event of the year, coming up on Friday, February the 9th. And we're very excited. It will be out at the Missouri City location right by our clinic. And we have Dr. David Levy is going to be our guest speaker from California. And he is a neurosurgeon who, through his own journey of faith, discovered the power of prayer and praying over your patients and really understanding how to live out your faith in the workplace. And so I'm very excited about Dr. Levy coming, and it's going to be a great, fun night. And we still have spots open. So if anybody's interested, they can contact me. And so we're very excited about it.
If they don't make it to the gala,
Yes.
or maybe they still want to engage some way but aren't going to be there, how would you recommend they do that?
Yeah, so they can go to our website, casa.elbuen.org, and find out more information about how to donate, how to volunteer. We're always looking for volunteers. You can pray for the event. We'll also have the auction online. So if you want to participate in the silent auction, you can do that too.
Fantastic. Christy, thanks for coming down. Thank you for just a few minutes with us.
Thank you.
And we will be praying for you guys as you have your gala. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
All right.
My child was literally just like trapped under a piece of Play-Doh equipment. He was freaking out. He had crawled in and couldn't get out, and he was like, "Ah!" So I just saved his life.
Well, while you were saving lives, I was upstairs
begging people to ditch their meal to come talk to us.
Yes, Samuel. So we are excited to bring you Samuel Hamilton, and he is the ministry director of the Amazon Basin Ministries on site. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Now, now you grew up in the United States,
Yeah, till I was 9.
and where did you grow up in the United States?
So I grew up in Michigan.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
And then you went overseas on missions
Yes, my parents became missionaries and we moved to Brazil when I was 9.
when you were 9.
Yes.
That's incredible. So now my husband's been on this trip. Is it when you take a boat, you stay on a boat down the Amazon, and you guys
Yes.
make stops and you open clinics and you minister to the people on the way down? And my husband said, Jennifer, you would not have, this is not your fit.
not your trip.
Tell us a little bit about your ministry.
So yes, there's a double-decker boat and that's where we sleep and we eat and everything on the boat. So we'll take the boat to the villages along the river and we'll stop and we'll unload and usually set up a clinic inside the village and do other ministries, VBS. We've had groups that have gone just pray house to house and try to help the people to know who Jesus is for real, and also for the lost that they'll come and they'll hear about Jesus.
Now, you guys on these stops, you will have a lot of people engaged with your ministry.
Yes.
And so how are you able to set this up, pull as many people through as possible? Like, how do you accomplish that at every village?
So usually the teams, they're usually prepped. So we go up and we'll set up and then we'll have as many people come as we can to see the doctor. Usually every person gets 15 minutes is a lot, but the quality of what they're getting in a doctor who's, people don't even know what reflux is, and they're like, oh, my heart is hurting and it's heartburn, they're not dying. So to have a doctor come and explain that to you and give you the medicine and say Jesus loves you is a big impact.
Just the knowledge, like more
Yes.
knowledge for them is probably such a calming experience for them. That's wonderful.
Yes.
I am totally laughing at your son running back and
I'm
forth.
just like my wife. I'm like, I love my dear wife, but please get here as soon as possible.
Well, it is like, how do we partner with you guys, and how can people find more out about your ministry?
Well, we have, at the moment, you guys have been coming to bring a group down, and we're going this year. We're going on the boat. We'll spend 4 days on the boat, and then we do get a day where we get to explore more of the Amazon and do some fun things. But the 4 days we'll be doing clinic and blessing 3 to 4 different communities along the river.
Are you looking for doctors as well as lay persons, or either or? Like, do you accept doctors that want to help out? Because we have a lot of medical people in our community.
Yes, we accept doctors, we accept dentists.
Okay.
We actually even have a dentist machine. So
Okay.
if any dentists want to come,
Yeah.
and if someone just wants to go to pray, if someone wants to go play with the kids,
Mhm.
there's a lot of kids in all the communities.
Okay.
So this church here has blessed a lot. Even myself and my wife, our ministry in Brazil, we do teen youth
Mhm.
group, and we also just purchased a big piece of land recently.
Yeah.
And this church actually gave a lot towards that,
Mm.
more than half. So because of that donation, we were able to purchase this. And now, Lord willing, we'll be creating a campground for
Wow.
working with teens. Churches can come to do youth stuff and all that.
Wow, that's really amazing.
That is cool.
That's incredible. Oh man, I'm so glad you came down, Samuel. Thank you for coming and visiting with us.
Yeah. If somebody wants to learn more about the ministry, do you have a website? Where do people go?
Yes, you can find me on Facebook, Samuel Hamilton, or email me at samiamearly@aol.com,
Perfect.
or you can get on the ABM website.
Okay. Great. Excellent.
Okay.
That's fantastic. Thanks
Thank
for being
you.
with us.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for coming
guys.
on the show. Okay, Kati Aier. Am I saying that
Kati
right?
Aguirre.
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 I will get this.
Jennifer's
Aguirre.
never going to get that double
Aguirre.
R.
Aguirre.
Okay.
There you
okay.
go.
Okay. Okay. So I'm excited to introduce our next guest, who is kind of like a legend on our staff and with our church.
Yes.
So welcome, Kati Aier, One Heart Ministry. Did I do it correctly?
You did. I've
Hola.
probably not the word she's
Okay,
heard.
Kati, you say it. You're so much better.
Hola. My name is Kati Aguirre with One Heart Global Ministries.
Beautiful.
Aguirre.
Beautiful. It's like she's been doing that her whole
I'm
life.
practicing that some more. It's such a beautiful name. Kati, welcome. Welcome. And this is a great visit. We're so glad to have you here, but you have been facing many trials. It's been a really kind of a tough season. Will you tell us about that and what's happening in Ecuador?
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come and share. I was flying to the US to come to dinner and deploy when everything went very bad for my country. To make a summary, this has been happening for years at the coast of Ecuador. So we are we're right there at the Pacific Ocean, border with Colombia, border with Peru. We've been very friendly for all these years, too friendly, I will say, on the borders, because at the borders, it's the ideal area to plant cocaine. Ecuador has always been the traffic area to send things through our Pacific Ocean, and it comes all the way to Europe and the United States. So the problem has started growing up, and unfortunately, I was born and raised at the border with Colombia at the coast of Ecuador. So I've been direct affected through my family. My family, some of them are in undisclosed places because there is a lot of... The problem is that about 15 years ago, the person who was in charge of our government and laws there closed and shut down the stations. One of them was an American station at the coast of Ecuador that will check out with planes, and so there was always drug trafficking, but not like there is right now. Open borders for it, so the drug cartels start gaining more and more power, and it was the matter of time. TikTok that was going to affect the entire country. Where I am serving, I'm up there in the mountains. I mean, cocaine doesn't grow up there. So there's nothing over there other than vegetables and fruits. And I'm in a beautiful area all the way up in the highlands and the mountains of Ecuador. And we've been doing ministry there with no problems affected directly to the ministry. But this January the 8th and January the 9th, there was a big unrest and
terror all over Ecuador, including my beautiful Riobamba, peaceful, beautiful city. And it affected the city, did not affect anything going on in the villages. But with that said, because of security reasons, we're going to be canceling every trip that was going to be coming to Ecuador until the summer. And we pray, and I have faith in the Lord that my country is going to be reopened to welcome mission teams, because we're very sad. We're very sad for what's going on in my country. We're very sad for not being able to welcome a missionary family that comes all the way from here, from City Rise. So,
Well, God
yeah.
is doing something, you know, and I know that's like, it's hard to see it, but I know in 5 years, you're going to look back and be like, that's what God was doing. That's why God had that happen in that moment. But it is heartbreaking for our people, because we love going to help you. We love serving with you. And so we're praying for that to open back up. But there's been other things in the past. There's been earthquakes and you know what I'm saying? Like Ecuador has been through a lot.
Yes.
And so, but our commitment to you is more than just this year, and you know that. So we're never going to leave you. So, you know,
that's what I wanted to hear.
As soon as
When
they
I
let us back in, we're coming, you know?
When I came
Sure,
and
of
Pastor
course.
gave me the phone call, I was in tears because I was very sad that I thought I was going to be left alone.
No.
And so it's very emotional for me to
Yeah.
talk about the subject, because I'm still feeling the hurt about it.
Right.
Because I really feel encouraged every time I have people from my family coming to help us. And my heart breaks because I look forward for the senior student coming. And I know if you are seniors there listening to this, please know that if this time didn't work, when you go to college or before you go or while you are learning or being a professional, please make sure you come, because it is a place where the Lord has people that is hungry for the word of God. There is still, Pastor, there is 6,000 villages in the area where I am.
Right.
And in the last 12 years, we've been able to go close to 1,000 right now.
Wow.
But we haven't touched not even a %, of it. So,
but there's for those listening, if you don't know, there's a senior and high school trip that goes every year. And so, but there's also adult trips that go. And so that's why if you have a kid that's a senior this year that's missing out because they had to cancel it, or if they don't get to go their scheduled time, whatever that is, we go every year with an adult group. Like we're committed to working with Kati, both with teenagers and adults. So there's more opportunity coming your way for sure.
You know, and it's really an exhortation for our church to be in prayer for Kati, for Ecuador, for peace, for resolution, for open doors, for opportunity, and to protect the plans of this summer for people to re-engage and continue sharing the gospel in such a unique and beautiful way to the children. So just, you know, if you're listening to this podcast, spend a few moments, lift Kati up, her ministry up in prayer, stay tuned and connected with One Heart Ministries online to see what's going on, to continue to be part of seeing what God does here.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come and share my heart with you, and knowing that you got my back.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And if someone wants to learn more about partnering with you directly, what is your website? How do they find you?
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, we are One Heart Global Ministries, www.ohgm.org.
Okay.
And also, I am in social media out there. You can find us on Facebook at One Heart Global Ministries, on Instagram, One Heart Ecuador, and even on TikTok. I'm out there, One Heart Global Ministries.
That sounds great. Thank you, Kati. Many,
bless you.
many blessings on you and your ministry and your people. We
Thank
love
you so
guys.
much. God bless you.
You had to walk up and down the stairs, 30 times to find people?
Okay, so I'm definitely my target heart rate. My little Fitbit thing is like, wow, you've gone up the stairs more today than you have in the last 3 months. So, you know, the energy in there, and I've said this every time that we do this event, the energy is so powerful because it's friendships bonded on the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I cannot express to you enough the power in the goodness of Jesus. And man, if you like, I'm encouraged to not lose heart in sharing the gospel because people need it. People need the Lord. Boy, that's a callback to. Anyway,
What a great song.
I know the sign language to that. People need the. Anyway, so it's so encouraging to be there. So if you didn't get to be there tonight, put it on your calendar for next year. It's usually around this same time.
Right. And cityrise.org/missions is where we list all of our international mission opportunities. So if you didn't get to come to dinner and deploy, cityrise.org/missions is where you go to find the list and the applications and all that. And then cityrise.org/find your spot is where our local partnerships are at. And so we talked to Stitch, talked to Casa. There's different local partnerships we have that you can work with. And so one of the things we love to do as the City Rise Church is partner with local people already doing a great job. You know, we don't feel like we have to go start a human trafficking ministry or a medical ministry because we have these people already doing a great job. And so if you want to get involved with one of those in the Houston area, cityrise.org/find your spot will take you directly, or cityrise.org/serve takes you there as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Justin. And thank you guys for being with us on our outdoor excursion. We hope you've had an almost amazing time on the Almost Amazing podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Almost Amazing podcast from the City Rise Network based in Houston, Texas. City Rise is a partnership of church campuses, nonprofits, and missionaries devoted to lifting our city and the world by generously giving the gospel of Jesus Christ. For more information or to find a church campus close to you in the Houston area, visit cityrise.org.